Okay, in downgrading the country's AAA credit rating for the first time, Standard & Poor's blamed Washington's long debt deadlock more than the actual debt. Well, when Democrats heard that, they ran with it.
This is essentially a Tea Party downgrade. The Tea Party brought us to the brink of a default.
I believe this is, without question, the Tea Party downgrade.
The Tea Party obstructionism here in Washington is keeping us from restoring that balanced approach that America's always used.
Well, joining us now with his take on the blame game, Republican Congressman and Tea Party activist Joe Walsh. So, Congressman, you heard it right there, Tea Party downgrade. Pretty harsh words. How do you respond to that?
Hey, Kara, if it wasn't so pathetic, I mean, it's almost comical. You listen to that austere voice of John Kerry blaming the Tea Party downgrade. Look, this is what you do. This is what one does when they've lost an argument, when they know their policies aren't working. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kara, but the talking point a week ago was the Tea Party are terrorists. Now it's the Tea Party downgrade. We were told months ago that a downgrade was likely because this economy is falling off a cliff and we have a debt crisis. That's all on the door of the president. His policies are responsible for this. And for him here at the last minute, him and his minions to trot out this thing called the Tea Party downgrade is comical, and it won't work because most Americans see right through it.
You and I, a couple of weeks ago, had a huge discussion about the fact that, you know, the fingers were being pointed at you and other Tea Party members saying, look, it's your fault. You're stalling this whole situation. So now fast forward, we're hearing now that what has happened is because of the Tea Party. So let me just ask you this. As you watch the markets tank, as you watch all of Americans suffer, you've admitted to me you've got financial problems. I mean, you're one of those Americans that's struggling right now in the bad economy. You look at the recent New York Times CBS poll showing that 82% of Americans disapprove of Congress. That's you and other lawmakers. That's your credibility, the credibility of other lawmakers. You know, how are you going to turn this country around? Bottom line, that's what people want to know. Americans feel hosed right now.
Kira, absolutely. That's the question. So why again, this president never ceases to not provide leadership. Why is he focused on name calling now? Why is he focused on blaming the credit agencies and finger pointing to us when, as you said, he should be focused on how we're going to turn this thing around?
I'm asking you how you and other members of the Tea Party are going to turn this around. I'm asking you, the congressman, what are you going to do to help turn this around?
Well, and we're going to have to, because this president won't. The way we're going to turn this thing around, Kira, is to get government off of the backs of small businessmen and women in this country. This economy will not grow, and we will not create jobs until this government moves away. Right now, they're regulating businesses to death. Businesses aren't hiring and they're not growing because of that, directly because of the policies of this administration. The credit agencies, Kara, are clear that we have a debt crisis. Government is spending too much money and we're not growing.
But
we're
this downgrade has happened. This downgrade has happened because of how the debt deal turned out. It's a reaction to what happened among lawmakers during the debt deal. So you know, are you saying that the trillions of dollars that have been lost now in the stock market, you know, has been worth all that back and forth and that bickering? I mean, is partisan politics helping this country move forward at all?
Hey, Kira, folks in the market are a lot smarter than you and I are. They understand what the fiscal situation in this country is. They understand what's going on in Europe. Look, the credit agencies began warning us in the springtime, and it had nothing to do with an August 2nd deadline. It had to do with our debt crisis. We've known about this for ages. And I got to tell you something. Thank God for all these troublesome House Republicans who came to this town. Can you imagine what life would be like if we hadn't? We would have raised the debt ceiling without thinking about it last February or March. We'd be spending money every single day. we would have been downgraded months ago, and it wouldn't have just been S&P. It probably would have been Moody's as well. These House Republicans have forced this town to finally get serious about spending. That's a good thing.
Congressman Joe Walsh, appreciate your time today.
Kara, I love it. Thank you.
You bet.